The devil had replicated himself in objects, plants, and human beings in Adi, so he easily tracked and obtained the information he needed. He was also getting things done while he was still in hell. Ogun set out on the journey towards the north to retrieve the needed weapon forged by the people of Nok. Accompanied by his dog, they crossed rivers and came upon the deserts of the northern land beyond which lay Nok. He traveled through the desert. During one midday, he spotted the entrance to the city of Nok. However, just as he was about to approach it, something emerged out of the desert sands and attacked him. It was in human form but covered in sand. The creature conjured a big dagger-like weapon in its two hands. They fought. The desert creature was fast and skilled in combat as well. Ogun, however, stood his ground. He conjured one of his most deadly weapons, a chain sword, and fought the creature. Even when it appeared he had defeated the creature, it would resurrect and obstruct him from proceeding into the city. It was even tougher to fight it when desert wind blew dust and sand in the air. Ogun got blinded by the dusty wind while the creature struck him, leaving him injured. But the god of iron showed resilience. Meanwhile, back in Benin, Osunobua kept watch on Ogun while he was on his journey. He had been watching a portal created inside a white earthenware pot. He saw the obstacle Ogun was facing and reached out to Arunmila to ask for help. Arunmila sought out Thoth through spiritual dimensions, requesting him to assist Ogun as he was up against an elemental on his journey. Thoth agreed to help, forcing a solar eclipse and freezing time. Ogun discovered everything around him frozen. The world around him was quiet and dark, and the sand assassin he was fighting was paused when he was attempting to pierce his chest with his dagger. Ogun looked up and saw the moon shining at its brightest, lighting up the suddenly darkened earth. Ogun dusted himself, carried his dog, and rode his horse into the city of Nok. Upon entering, he conjured the gate of the city and shut it. As soon as he did this, the darkened sky cleared, giving way to the sun again, and time returned to normalcy. Inside Nok was deserted. Ogun could smell death everywhere. He wondered how he was meant to find the said weapon if there was no one to receive him. He walked through the deserted city. He observed the buildings made of mud, and the street floors were covered with stone pebbles. He picked up the sound of screams and looked up to see a circle of death high in the sky, a flock of vultures. He concluded within himself that he had arrived in a lost city and was considering returning. On top of the debris of a building, 4 sparrows were seated, watching Ogun as he kept turning in different directions, not knowing where to turn. The 4 sparrows transformed into 2 giants and welcomed Ogun, who recoiled and quickly conjured a bow and arrow. The 2 giants stated they were the guidance of the Labries, or a name known to mortals as the Creator's battle axe. They took him to the tomb of the last emperor of Nok. On the way, they told him about how Abaku, the spirit of famine and hunger, had ravaged the city, leaving the emperor and his subjects for dead. When they arrived at the tomb of the last emperor of Nok, situated in the basement, a place that used to be the palace, it was dark. He was told to sprinkle the blood of a virgin around the tomb. As soon as he did, the torches fixed around the basement were lit. The tomb opened, and there was the Labries. Ogun was instructed to call the weapon to himself, which he did with ease. As soon as he had the weapon in his possession, the foundation of the city shook. Lightning struck, tearing open a huge hole in the earth. Out of the hole came 2 scorpion men. Giant scorpions with the body of a human at the top of their protoma. The 2 made to attack Ogun, but the 2 giants stepped in to stop them. Ogun was instructed to apply the blood of the virgins to his forehead 3 times and get into the tomb and shut it off. He did as he was told. He stayed in the tomb while the 2 giants and the 2 scorpion men fought for a long time. Soon he fell asleep and was woken up by a gentle breeze that blew across his face. He opened his eyes and found himself at his favorite spot where he always rested after he had finished hunting for the day. It was under a tree not far from the gate of Benin.